I tell you what, it's the first time I haven't seen you with a golf top on. That's funny.
I know, yeah. It's only been 3 weeks now that we couldn't play golf, so I can't wait till next Thursday.
The fake tan's coming on, no? That's brilliant. See, every week I said to him, he said, I'd be golfing tonight, I'd be golfing the sun. 3 weeks now, he's still got the same tan. He's got a tanning machine in there somewhere.
Never. Just got
you haven't.
Guernsey.
I haven't.
No, you look like Count Dracula. One, two, today.
My favourites. Yeah, my favourites. That was Sesame Street, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's the only reason I learned to count. Hey, Mike, you were saying that. Do you think Tiger's ever counted to 10 before?
Well, that was one of the things to pick up on. Now that because for me this was really interesting. I know Matt's played out of us three. Actually, Matt's the only one that's played the Augusta National. I think you played it twice, haven't you, Matt?
Twice in a day.
So of course Matt's going to be able to tell us what he did on the 12th, but it does open up some conversation. I mean, I was just going to say off the back of that 10, rather than sort of jump on the bandwagon about the 10 of how bad it was for Tiger, I just thought it was such a demonstration of how they make the game look so easy for all of the other times, you know. And on that one occasion there, that's probably what, you know, under tournament conditions during the Masters week, I'll probably end up with a 10 most times on that hole, I would have thought. But what did you do on when you played it, Matt? How did you fare on that one?
Well, I don't like to talk about it, Pete, to be honest. It's a bit embarrassing.
Do you not?
Well, you know, I mean, to play it twice in the same day and take 6 less shots than what Tiger did, it's just not right, is it? I don't wish to.
That's not bad going, is it?
2 birdies.
2 birdies, yes.
Oh, it'd be. No, it's 2 birdies more impressive on that hole, right? On 12 in Augusta than a 1 and a 3.
I think I would have preferred the 1 and the 3, if I'm honest.
Well, no, just saying. I didn't like to say myself.
A hole in 1 at Augusta would have been pretty special. Yeah, in fact, the second time I was very close. I left it about 18 inches short, bang on line with the hole.
About that much?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So what was your favourite hole? Because everybody I know who's gone to Augusta, you don't see the undulations. You don't see how it runs down and it runs off the fairways and it runs off the greens. And is it incredible? Is it?
I would say the second hole. I don't think you could actually describe just how far downhill it was, and people still believe you. It is incredible. Just the footage of where the tee box is down to where the green is about. I mean, it's quite a long hole anyway, but it is the whole way downhill and so steep. You just can't get a feeling for it on the television of just how steep it is.
Well, I think an indication of that as well, Matt, is I don't know whether when you were there, did you have a chance to walk down to the par 3 and have a look around there?
No, we were meant to play it. So our plan for the day was we were going to play 18 holes in the morning. Then we came in for some lunch, and the plan in the afternoon was we were going to do the par 3 course and then the back 9 again. Okay. And when we all sat down to lunch, and the member said to us, "Okay, guys, so what do you want to do this afternoon? Do you want to do the par 3 and play the back 9 again?" And all 3 of us looked at each other and went, "We just want to go around the whole course all over again. We just want to do that all over again." And so we didn't end up playing the par 3 course, which I don't know, maybe was a bit of a silly thing to do, but it was so cool to play that course. To be there and have the chance to go and play it all over again was just too good to turn down.
I tell you what, on that par 3 course last year, you see, I think it was last year, one of the most extraordinary feats of bravery, or just when Tony Finau dislocates his ankle.
Oh.
The whole crowd are cheering because he's just he had a hole in one or something, didn't he? He's walking down and he's cheering. He dislocates his ankle. He looks down, pushes it back in, carries on walking, and then shoots under par the following day. And then you just think, oh my God, no wonder those Islanders are the hardest men you'll ever play against. Because if you can do that in a golf course, you know what I mean. You feel sorry for yourself for weeks after that, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
absolutely.
That was incredible.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, he literally went running off the front of the tee, didn't he? Went down the hill a bit and just it popped out. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, he just looked down, pushed it back in, and carried on.
Yeah, amazing. Have you ever dislocated your shoulder? Did you ever dislocate your shoulder?
No, I dislocated my both AC joints, so I've got a grade 3 there and a grade 2 there. But never. I put loads of shoulders back in.
Oh, have you? You've done it yourself, other people?
Yeah, that's quite fun. I put loads of fingers and loads of shoulders back in. You know the best way of putting a shoulder back in?
I was going to say, how did you learn how to do that?
How? Dr. Quinnell, innit? I got an honorary doctorate from Manchester Metropolitan University, and I put it to good use. I park in the local doctor's parking space in town because I can, and I can put shoulders and fingers back in, and that's about it. Yeah, if you dislocate your shoulder, basically lay them face down on a table and just let their arm drop off the table, and gravity will put it back in.
What?
You know, I don't know why people care what the hospital's gone to.
I did.
You didn't have to put any pressure on it.
No, it just goes back in. So done that a couple of times. The fingers are brilliant because they poke it out, and you just go right, count to 3, and they go 1, 2, bang. By the time they get to 3, the fingers back in. Go on, off you go.
And what do? You just pull it, yank it out.
Yeah, just pull it, and it goes back in. Obviously, we've got to put a little disclaimer at the bottom here. Not everybody is qualified as much as I am to do this. If you would probably go to hospital or see a specialist if you haven't got an honorary doctorate from Manchester Metropolitan like I have.
I've got one from Southampton. Does that count?
Oh, of course it does. Yeah. Have you ever parked in the doctor's surgery?
No.
Oh, what a waste of a doctorate. Get in there. Go down there this afternoon, park in there. When they say you can't park in there, you're not a doctor, pull out the old form and go, thank you very much.
Oh, that counts, does it?
Do you guys occasionally...
I'm 6'4", 19 stone, they've never argue.
Do you guys occasionally walk around with your sort of cheese board hat and your cloak on? Did you get one of those?
Well, hired.
Yeah, hired.
Yeah, because it's not an everyday thing. My son is really, really pissed off because he's in his 3rd year of university and he's doing a doctorate in psychology, and every time he comes back and he's going a bit tough, I said, yes, son, my after university was hard as well. Keep plugging there, son, plug in there. Make a speech and get your reward.
Oh, man. I dislocated my shoulder once when I was skiing, and the problem I had was because I'd fallen on the back and it had popped out, and my shoulder was kind of in the recess here in front, and so they couldn't get it back in, so they had to, in order to get it back in, they had to pull it out and push, get it back in that way. But they had to put me under to do it. There's this little village in Switzerland, and so they put me under, and the pain apparently, which is what caused it, I didn't realise because I was under, but the pain woke me up from the anaesthetic. It actually woke me up, and I sort of screamed out with the pain, and then I went back off again, dozed back off. But yeah, that's my only. But that wasn't. I was just skiing too far, so that wasn't on the field of play, so to speak.
Plenty of ice, so to ice it after, was it?
Yeah, true. Yeah. No, I didn't ski after that. No, that was the end of my.
I tell you what, I got put out once. I was playing for Wigan, right, and I did all the ligaments in my ankle, and I was in a boot for 6 weeks. And after 6 weeks, they took me out of the boot, and a week later, I was running around and everything. And it was just sore. I didn't have a movement in my left leg. It was just sore, and I wanted to play the following week. So they said, look, you've got an option. We can put you out, and we can manipulate it so it tears all through the scar tissue, and he'll give you the more movement back in your foot. I said, brilliant, stick me in, Doc, Wednesday. I want to play on Sunday, so stick me in on Wednesday. So Wednesday, went out to the hospital, knocked me out, and they manipulated my foot, bang, bang, bang. And then I woke up about an hour later, and they said, right, have a cup of tea. Yeah, have a cup of tea, right. Have a walk, see how it feels. And I walked my left foot, so that feels brilliant. I said, much more movement. And I went to walk on my right foot, I could hardly walk on my right foot. I said, oh, that's sore. I said, my right foot's sore now. He said, yeah, well, when you run now, we just did them both. He said, might as well, now you were here. So they manipulated both my feet, and then I played in on the following Sunday. So I two for the price of one. It was bogged off in the hospital. It was brilliant, wasn't it?
Buy one, get... What was that? Break one, get one free, was it?
Yeah, well, it was. But I tell you what, it was the best thing I ever had. Best thing I ever had. Yeah, it was lovely.
Well, I don't think. Well, I don't know of anyone who's been injured on a golf course. So I've certainly not, thankfully, been injured. Anyone? Any of you guys?
Yeah, I've twisted my ankle a few times on the golf course.
Have you?
Yeah, and I nearly, I very nearly did some serious damage to one of my teammates on a golf course once when I was driving the buggy, and it nearly flipped over. Well, it would have flipped over if it wouldn't have hit him on the shoulder first.
Oh, really?
So basically, we were out in Portugal on a mid-season bonding trip, and I'd hit my ball up the right of the hole, and there was a big bank up the right hand side, and I was at the top of the bank, and my playing partner was at the bottom of it. It was obviously on the fairway. So I drove up the bank, went up to my ball, hit my ball, and then got back in the buggy, went down the bank, and then as we got to the bottom of the bank, I noticed that my partner's ball was back to the left a little bit, and I spotted it just as I was coming to the bottom of the hill, and I spun the buggy to go left, but I spun it too quick, and the buggy just started falling over to the right. Was gonna tip over, and my teammate, who was in the passenger seat, obviously fell out of the buggy, and the buggy was falling on top of him. And as he fell out, the buggy hit him on the shoulder, and because he was a big, strong lad, and he hadn't gone down, the buggy hit him on the shoulder and bounced back up.
Oh,
back on all four wheels again. I mean, if I was with somebody who was a little bit smaller than Neil Ruddock sat next to me in the buggy,
that was how it was.
Might be in a lot of trouble.
Was it Razor?
It was Razor, yeah.
He's a legend, isn't he? He's a legend.
So, yeah,
I'm surprised the buggy didn't break in half over his shoulder.
Pretty much did. Anyone smaller than him, they would have been crushed by the buggy, but the buggy just bounced off him.
Brilliant.
I was thinking, because on the golf, going back to the Masters at Augusta, I was going to say about the par 3, that is a demonstration of just how hilly the course is overall in terms of the whole terrain, because the par 3 sits lower than the main course almost. You go down and then down further into it. But interestingly, because of this year's tournament, obviously it was surprising really, because when they said there was going to be no fans at all, by the final day there was quite a few people in there, and I wonder where they were all coming from. But it was interesting on the TV coverage, although you didn't quite still get the full perception of it all. You could see an awful lot more than you would normally see because the fans just weren't there. And that was obviously when you played it, Matt, that would have been very similar in that respect, in terms of you'd have just seen the course in its kind of barity, I guess.
Yeah, we did. And obviously we played it. It was probably about, what was it, I'd say it was probably 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks before the tournament.
Oh, was it?
They were,
yeah.
They were trying to. Well, I say they were trying to. They were at the time they were getting all the pine straw, so they bring in the pine straw to put down. Because there's not a whole coverage of it naturally, so they import a load of the pine straw, and we just saw these guys in the trees in the rough, just with this pine straw, just spreading it out all over the place, making it look perfect. And it was amazing to see. They had obviously the tees were protected as well, because they were obviously the tournament tees. So when I made 2 twos on the 12th, we were actually playing from the members' tees as opposed to where the pros would play it from. So it was a little bit easier to make 2-2s when you stood there with a 9-iron in your hand and it's playing like 125.
What was the yardage then? What was it playing?
It was about 125 yards.
Okay.
There was only one club, really.
There you go.
Oh.
I'm not left-handed, by the way. That's just the video. So that was the second one, and that was the only time that Blandy videoed my shot.
Wow.
That was the one that went to about 18 inches.
It's gone. Oh, I tell you what, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. What was 13 like around the corner? Did he go over the trees like Bryson DeChambeau?
No, I tried to hit a draw around there.
Oh, I can't do draws.
Yeah, no, nor did I. I ended up in the pine straw to the right.
Well, like Phil Mickelson, when he put that, what did he put? He put a 4-iron, did he? Remember that one?
Right, yeah.
Around the tree, in between the trees, he put a 4-iron onto the green.
That's phenomenal, wasn't it?
I didn't try it.
No.
I mean, imagine that. It's not just about playing. I mean, you guys obviously played at the very highest level as well, but it's being able to play that shot, but also then being able to do it under the cosh. Do you know what I mean? When in like tournament play, when it really matters. I mean, that's just phenomenal, isn't it? I mean, that's like taking a penalty, Matt, for you, or you, Scott, making a tackle, or whatever you're going to be doing. That's absolutely critical at that moment. I mean, that's what separates you guys from the rest of us, isn't it? Really.
Well, loads of the shots today. You remember that? You remember that one from Mickelson, and you went Bubba Watson on the playoff hole, wasn't it? You know what I mean? And apparently, they put a little plaque from where he played it, but nobody ever sees it because nobody goes that far into. Not even the squirrels have seen half of his plaques. So they go like, "Have you seen where when he played out of?" The squirrels are like, "No, we don't go for that far in the forest." You know what I mean? It's not safe in there because there's a bubba hanging around.
That was amazing shot, wasn't it? That was amazing.
Oh, just amazing. Mind you, got to say, can I just, before we go on to Dustin Johnson, right? Can I big up Bernard Langer?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, my God. He's just, what he does, he's had 41, I think, victories after the age of 50. You know what I mean? On the Champions Tour and everything. Yeah. And when players have played at the high standard that they are today, on the course, like the Augusta National, and they're playing from the back tees, and for a guy who hits the ball 250 yards, to make the cut, I think he ended up 2 shots ahead of Bryson DeChambeau. You know what I mean? I thought, what? As a 63-year-old, that's exceptional.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I can't wait till I'm 63 and I'm playing like that.
What was funny was to hear the commentators remark on, every time he bent down to pick the ball up out of the hole, they were like, "God, crikey, he does that well as well," because he was like so nimble,
He has kept himself in great shape, hasn't he? He's incredible.
Yeah.
He's a bit like Gary Player, though, when he's looked after himself. But Gary Player does 1,000 sit-ups a day. He does more sit-ups in a day than I do in a year. Gary Player, just incredible, And I love the tweet that he put out because him and of course the bear. They went out. Him and Jack Nicklaus went out. Him and Jack Nicklaus went out and made the first tee. The traditional tee-off time. Yeah. But it was 6:30 in the morning. It was dark. So I love the fact that both of them went back out on the Monday and said, "Right, come on, we'll have a proper go." And they were back out there on the Monday. You know what I mean? They love the game, and they're such good ambassadors for the game. It's just absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose drawing a parallel with Bryson DeChambeau, I mean, obviously with Gary Player doing the fitness, the whole, sort of strength and conditioning has been a massive part for him. But DeChambeau's taking it onto a new level. I was wondering whether, obviously we can talk about how he might do in the Masters in consequent years, but I was wondering if there was anyone in your teams, like your teammates, that have ever done that type of radical type of change within the context of your games? Because, I mean, he's really sort of taken that to the next level, hasn't he?
Yeah, but I think, sort of in rugby, everybody sort of does the weights and everybody... do you know what? I was always told that naturally you can put on 14 to 17 pound of muscle a year if you work as hard as you can and you've got no injuries and you go. So what he's done is absolutely incredible. You know, I know he's from muscle mass off, but he's put a bit. You know, I think Gary Player said, you know, there are no protein bars safe in the 100 miles of Bryson DeChambeau. You know what I mean? He worries a bit for him about the amount of calories he's taking in, but you know, if he's training that hard, he doesn't play a golf apparently. From what I've heard, he does all of it in the gym, or he does all of it on the range. He does all of it through numbers. He does all of it through a calculator. He calculates everything in his head, from the temperature, the room, to the temperature, to the wind, to the what's the moisture like, and everything. And then Dustin, did you see Dustin at the end of the round? They said, you know, what do you do? Well, my brother gives me the number. I pick a club, and I hit it. And you just think, you know what I mean? And that's why I love golf, because this, you know what I mean? There's Bryson DeChambeau, and then there's Dustin Johnson, and both of them have won the last two majors, and everybody else really is in between those two guys, and that's why I love the game so much.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. Well, Dustin Johnson, I mean, what a performance! So calm and sort of consummate, really, isn't he?
Yeah, it just made it. It almost made it. Because he was that good, it almost made it not very exciting the last day, which is quite unusual for a Masters. I think it was I think you were just in awe of how easy he was making the game of golf look. I think that was the big thing that I took from it. Yeah, it wasn't particularly exciting with, you know, a tight finish with a bunch of players, but just to see him just stroll around that place and look like it was the easiest thing in the world that he was doing, and just take it all in his stride and completely obliterate the field was just pretty awesome, really.
The other thing as well, you know, you have a look at it, and unfortunately, because he's had 4 or 5 close shaves where he's been leading, and then you know, he's fallen away. You know, I think he grounded Blackpage. He grounded the club into the sand. And there's been a couple of times where he's sort of fallen away from it. You know, you're on the edge of your seat, and you're thinking, "Oh, come on, just he's so good. You just want him to get over that line." You know what I mean? Of course, you know, we all want Westwood to win, and we all want Rory to win, and we all want our boys, you know, we all want the British Irish boys to win. But if you don't, you know, he's been so close so many times. 2001, Tiger won the Masters, and he was the last time a world number one won it, I think, until Dustin Johnson, you know, and to win it at 20 under, and then to walk down that 18th, and he's so cool, he's so calm, he's so collected, and then when he walked back onto that, you know, and then we handed a green jersey, we handed the green jacket by Tiger Woods, and for the emotion then to stand there, and when they asked him the question, you know what I mean, what does it feel like, for him not to be able to answer that, we never see that sort of emotion from Dustin Johnson.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But it's in every sportsman. It's, you know, there are sportsmen out there that make it look easy. You have sportsmen out there that play with the heart in the chest, and you have some who look ice cold in their veins. But then a realization that you live an hour and a half where you win your tournament, the one you've always wanted, and then not to be able to say anything speaks volumes. It was just a brilliant couple of minutes.
I think as well, the fact that he had come so close to winning other majors and fallen away, and people had questioned him, you know, questioned his ability to be able to finish off majors. I think the fact that he played that last round, and at no point whilst I was watching that last round of golf, did I think he was going to lose it. At no point did he look like he was out of control. And you know, he had to get it back. He just looked so cool and calm, which is, given what he'd been through before on all those occasions where he had been knocking at the door, to be that cool and calm about it, I just thought was incredible. I just thought he showed a tremendously strong mentality to be able to cope with that, given what he'd gone through in the past.
Yeah, definitely. I put down Matt Wolf as doing well. It didn't work out. Did you guys have a tip? Did you go for somebody in particular?
I thought Xander Schauffele might have gotten close, and he started off pretty well, but then kind of tailed away.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gave me hope in the first round to think that I might know something about golf, but then that over the coming days.
Who did you go for?
You couldn't really see, he was second, he was first, second. You couldn't really see past Dustin, you know what I mean? When you looked at that. The people I kind of want to win are Ricky Fowler. You know what I mean? Because I think he's brilliant. I think Justin Thomas, I think, has been brilliant. I'd love Westy. You know what I mean? He works so hard, and you see over lockdown he was working in the gym and doing everything, and he's a bit more relaxed. His misses on the bag, and you know what I mean. I'd love Westy to win it, but I think over the next couple of years, Rory's got a big chance. I think of winning that because after the last 3 rounds, he was in contention. He's getting that first one in the bag. If he shoots 68 in the first one in April, then he could well win that. He could really, really, really well win that. But then you can't look past in April again. You can't look at Dustin Johnson, and I think Bryson DeChambeau will go. He put new batteries in his calculator because I think they were running out. They were flashing a little bit. They weren't sure where he was going. He was hitting I think there was something like he was hitting his 6-iron 260 yards.
Yeah, that's
that's not a 6-iron, is it? You know what I mean? That's a 3-wood. You know what I mean? What he's done, he's just put different numbers on the bottom.
That's a drive of a wedge.
Oh, it's just frightening. But it goes to show that some golf clubs out there in the world, especially in America now, they're set up for big drives and chips. But now, if he wants to win the Masters, he's got to learn to play his way around, I think.
I thought he put incredible pressure on himself with what he said before the tournament about the course being a par 67.
Totally.
I just couldn't see what upside there was for him coming out with a statement like that. All he did was just put more pressure on himself, and it was just crazy to think that he was thinking that 20 under par is his par for that golf course. I just didn't get. I don't know if he was trying to intimidate the other players, but it certainly backfired in a big way because if he thought 20 under par was the par, he was a lot over par.
Well, mind you, Dustin Johnson was.
Yeah, I mean, but Dustin didn't put that pressure on himself at the start.
Yeah. Totally. But you know what? I have this argument with people quite a bit because we talk about the golf, and they say he's terrible for golf. What he's doing in golf is. I said no. I said it's just what Tiger did all those years ago. It's just what Nicholas did all those years ago. They just got better and they got fitter and they hit the ball further. And all of a sudden now it's for everybody. I love the fact now that Tony Finau has said, well, I may have to stop playing at 85%. I may have to start hitting the ball hard. And you just think, you know what I mean? And people are saying that, stop these players hitting the ball 390 yards. And you're thinking, that's why you tune in. If those players are only hitting the ball 230 yards, which we can kind of do, you think, what's the point of watching them? You watch Lewis Hamilton, and by the way, Lewis Hamilton, congratulations, Sir Lewis Hamilton, absolutely brilliant. 7 world titles, boy, just absolutely incredible. Just absolutely incredible. Congratulations, my friend. Just, these guys at the top of their sport, you tune in just to watch them, to do what they do, to be quicker than everybody else, to be faster than everybody else, to be stronger than everybody else. If you tuned into at the end of the year, the strongman competition, and they were lifting 10 kilos, you go.
It's a good point.
Just mark it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
what's the point in looking at it?
I think the great thing about particularly this year with the Masters, it just does go to show that although Dustin Johnson, world number 1, and he did win it, as you said, the last world number 1 was Tiger Woods all those years ago, but just shows you that anybody can win a tournament. And that's the great thing about golf, and there's more than one way to skin a cat. And I love the fact that.
Can I just say to the RSPCA, right, really now, that was just a metaphor. That is something that Pete does on occasion.
For any snowflakes watching, yeah. No, but
watch out! You dislocate your shoulder again.
But it's just that you see on the first round of the Masters, inevitably is going to be the likes of Freddie Couples, Langer, or this year it was Larry Mize, which is fantastic to see. But you get these guys who just show you that they can still play and they can still get around a golf course. All right, ultimately they don't manage to win the tournament because obviously 72 holes is, as you get older, is going to be more difficult at the highest level. But Rory, as you say, first round didn't have so much luck, but then the following 3 rounds was good enough to win the tournament, if it, in that respect, in terms of form. So yeah, that's what I love about it. So I think there's always room for all these different types of swings, isn't there? Different types of play. I mean, who would have thought someone like Matt Wolff would even be, in the top 5, in the top 10 on any tournament? And yeah, he's gone on to win on the tour, and he's a top quality player with a very unusual swing. But I think
I got to say, Matt Wolff. I think when he was younger, he used to mix his golf videos up with Tom Jones videos, because his swing is more Tom Jones than Gary Player, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yes, it is unusual.
You can like, ha ha ha,
yeah.
Bang.
I think one of the things that would have been fantastic for golf, and it didn't quite happen, but was when Tom Watson, at 60 years of age, if he could have won that Open Championship at 60 years of age, that would have been the most incredible sporting story I would have ever seen. And it was just, I was absolutely devastated for him when he couldn't make par at the last. It was just, it was horrible. Yeah,
totally. And it was literally so close, wasn't it? It was, all he would have needed was the par.
Well, he had a what was it, an 8-foot putt for par, which would have won in the tournament. It would have just been the biggest story of any sport in the world, I think.
Totally.
One of my claims to fame, that is.
What have you done?
I played the first hole of St Andrews with Tom Watson.
Did you?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Yeah, we did about 4 or 5 years ago. We went up just before the Open, and he was doing a special thing there with MasterCard. They were playing in, and I was in the Heineken team, and we went up, and we had dinner with him in the night, and he played the first hole with everybody on the course. Tee off.
Fantastic.
He's the nicest man in the world. The funniest thing, we got up there on the Thursday night. We flew into Edinburgh, and there was a guy there with a chauffeur uniform, and the 3 of us had rocked up, and there was 4 of us rocked up actually, because we had 4 born, and the guy was there with his MasterCard sign, and we went, is that for us? And he went, no, it's not for you. Okay. So we phoned in, your car's there, he's holding a MasterCard sign. So we went, excuse me, is that, no, it's not for you. And about half an hour later, we're all hanging around now. And we went up to the guy. I said, look, I'm not. I said, you're the only one here. He said, are you sure it's not for us? He said, I'm waiting for Tom Watson, he said. And the guy with us who booked it, his name was Tom Watson. And for half an hour when we were there, and we were in the car, and he was very, very sheepish now, putting all the kit in the back of the car. And we went all the way up to St Andrews. And we gave the driver a bit of a hard time because, unfortunately for him, he thought he was getting one of the best golfers ever to play the game. And instead, he got 4 of us that weren't very good. So he had a little bit of stick.
Brilliant.
You've played the old course, haven't you, Matt? You did. Didn't you do one of the Dunhills one time?
Yeah, I played 1 year in the Dunhill Links. Yeah, that was one of my favourite golfing weeks I've ever had. That was just incredible to actually play in a proper professionals tournament and see, be inside the ropes and see just how good they are at that level. It was just absolutely stunning. I've never been so nervous in all my life teeing off on the first tee.
Right.
It was just incredible to stand on that first tee at St Andrews and see a fairway that's like 100 yards wide and still think, I'm going to miss this fairway.
How did you play? Did you get on all right for the whole tournament?
Yeah, so we had a practice round at each of the courses. I think we went up on the Monday, and I played Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at the 3 different courses, and the whole week. What was brilliant? It was the first week of October, I think it was. But we were so lucky. We played the whole week in t-shirts.
Oh, really?
In the first week of October in Scotland. I mean,
wow.
Not sure that's ever happened since. But it was just brilliant. The courses were in brilliant condition. Kings Barnes is probably right up there with one of my favourite courses I've ever played. I think it was just a stunning piece of land to stick a golf course on. It was just beautiful. And yeah, I think my biggest take from that week, I played crap at Carnoustie on the first day, and also at Kings Barnes I didn't play particularly well. But when we got to St Andrews, I think it was the third round, the nerves had kind of dissipated by then. So I actually played really well at St Andrews, and I birdied 3 out of the first 5 holes. And I was 2 under through 5. I think I was beating Blandy at that point, who I was playing with. And I got all the way to the 18th, and I think we were on the same score, same score gross.
Right.
He had a 12-foot birdie putt on the last to beat me by 1 shot, and I thought, please don't get this in because I'll never get out of it. And the twat putt straight in the middle of the hole and just looked at me and laughed.
Did you cut the corner on 17?
Sorry, mate?
Did you cut the corner on 17?
Did I cut the corner? Only a little bit. Yeah, I wasn't hitting the ball very far.
I tell you what, that green on 17 is incredible. That second shot in the 17 is one of the hardest out there. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I made 4 on that hole, which was nice. But I had to make a 6-footer. I had a chip and a putt to make my 4. But yeah, it's a brilliant hole, isn't it? Stunning.
Oh, did you get into any of the bunkers you couldn't get out of?
I don't recall getting having too much trouble actually getting out. I mean, there were a couple I had to go out sideways, but I managed to get out of them. I think the biggest problem I had actually was in the practice round at St Andrews, because I didn't really play a lot of links golf, and the fairways were so tight that I had this real problem when I was in the practice round at St Andrews, and I must have knifed. I can't tell you, maybe 8 or 9 iron shots off of fairways, like wedges in the greens. I was just knifing them, and funny enough, Blandy never said a dicky bird, but his mate, we were playing with one of the other pros, who was a mate of his, and after about 10 holes, when he could see I was getting a bit frustrated, I kept knifing him. He just walked up to me and he went, "When you're playing your wedges into the greens," he said, "just get the ball a bit further back in your stance a little bit." And I was like, "Oh right, okay, cheers." And then the second round I played there, I took his advice. That was always in my head, and I played it a little bit off the back foot, and I just hit the ball as good as I've hit it for years. And I said to Blandy, I went, "Any chance of you giving me a bit of advice? I'm your partner here in your team. Your mate is the one giving me advice to try and make us better. What's going on?" Selfish twat.
Yeah, but every other week he's playing against you, so you know what I mean. He sacrificed one tournament for 90 wins for the rest of the year.
He just didn't want me to shoot lower than him.
I tell you what, though, I was playing up there, and we had caddies with us. And if you don't have a caddie up there, you know what I mean. You've had it, because I said to the caddie, said, "Well, it's 190." I said, and he handed me a pitching wedge. I said, "No, I've got my pitching wedge 190." He said, no, that's all you need. How far do you want your pitching wedge? He said, I said, "Oh, about 120. He said, yeah, it did 120. He said, and it'll roll in. It did 120. Went over the back. He said, "Oh, we'll have to take a bit off that next time." And you just think, I'd have hit six iron, probably, you know what I mean, into that. And it ended up about 200 yards away down the other fairway. It's just, one bit of advice, if you go to St Andrews, get the local person to play with. They are invaluable.
Definitely. Well, it's that disconcerting thing where momentarily disconcerting, where the caddy says, "Yeah, just aim there," and you're looking and you're thinking, I have no idea where the fairway is, but I'm going to take your word for it. And you're just, you're hitting it out into the air,
Definitely. Aim at that gorse bush there. Well, you go, well, if I aim at the gorse bush and I hit it straight, I'll be in the gorse.
Yeah.
You go, no, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Mind you, they've seen me play, and he would say, if he says hit it at the gorse bush, I go, well, fair play to him, because if I hit it at the green, I never hit the green anyway. So if I hit it at the gorse bush, there's a very, very small chance of it actually going in there. May go in the other side of the fairway, but I ain't going in that one. I'm aiming at.
It's funny just thinking about St Andrews, obviously the old course, but with the chat about the Augusta National and talking about Bryson and the whole thing, and obviously the emphasis there with all the courses, do they lengthen them? Can they lengthen them? Obviously the National's almost gone as far as it possibly can. They've bought land from the country club next door, and they bought land surrounding it. But it's amazing when you think about, obviously the old course is the old course. There's nowhere they can expand to on that. It was funny. I was reading an article about the Augusta National, and for all the, we'll put a link on to the relevance of this, but it was almost like when I read it, it sounded like Trigger's broom. So for people who don't know Only Fools and Horses, we'll put a link for that. But the amount of changes.
Honestly, if you don't know what Only Fools and Horses is, what the hell are you watching this for? If you don't know what Only Fools and Horses is, go away now. We don't want to talk to you.
Trigger's broom.
We genuinely don't want to talk to you.
But it was just like there was so many changes, like from the original Bobby Jones, Alistair McKenzie design. That it did sound like, well, yeah, it's the Augusta National, but it probably looks nothing like it used to look when it was first designed. But yeah, I mean that does beg the question, doesn't it? But it does. It begs the question as to, obviously, I think with the old course, it's always going to have that protection of the weather, isn't it? That's always going to make the difference. But it will become, there's bound to be a time when people are going to be driving holes which you would never have even thought drivable on the old course, and that's going to start to really throw up a few questions.
Yeah, but then that's all you do. You know what I mean? Is dry it out a bit, or a little bit. If it gets a bit warmer, then you can't stop the ball. So the hardest thing then, if they're going to hit driver to 400-yard par fours, then it only has to go slightly wrong, and it's either in the sea or it'll be in the gorse bush the other side. You know what I mean? So I think it's the wind will play a big part, but I just think these courses, they can be set up now. You can have rough up to here. I'm actually showing you, but I couldn't about the shot up to here. You can have rough up to there, and they can make the golf courses as hard or as easy really as they want.
Yeah.
Because every golf course I play, they make it as hard as they can for me.
You just have to. There's other ways that you can protect the golf course. You can make the fairways narrower, and the closer you get to the green, you make the rough way thicker. So there are ways around.
Well, it'd be interesting. I mean, that's I mean, it's almost like the US Open, and they do that deliberately to make that tougher. But Well, we'll put a link in there for Only Fools and Horses and that reference for Trigger's broom. I was trying to think there. When you mentioned Tom Watson, who was the guy? And he must be the most unpopular winner of the Open ever, and not by any fault of his own, just by the fact that he beat Tom Watson on that particular time. Who was it who came runner-up? It was the American guy.
Oh, Tom Watson came runner-up.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Who won it? Yeah.
Spieth.
No.
Wasn't it?
No. It was the older guy, wasn't it? Slightly older. Anyway, I'll have a little. Well, yeah, Matt, you can do your honours on your quick search. You'll be able to find that. Something about the Masters as well I spotted was Sandy Lyle. Did you see him on the coverage? I think it was in the first round, but he was playing with his braces on. Did you see him?
Yes. Yeah.
And what I thought was it looked like it reminded me of someone perhaps who's gone out to play, and they didn't realise that the weather was going to be as warm as it was. So you end up kind of being forced to strip off a bit, but you haven't thought about what you got underneath. It did look like he sort of, wasn't expecting to play in braces, but he was so hot he had to take off what he had on top. And there with the braces. But I thought that was bizarre. But Sandy's always
I
been.
tell you what, right? It's funny because
Yeah,
somebody bought me braces post lockdown because I thought, well, you bought me braces because I did braces for people, not Sandy like this isn't for you. It look like a fashion thing, but for people who, if they put a belt on, it's like a person when you got no calves. If you pull your socks up, it doesn't matter. If you got no calves, they're going to fall down.
Right.
So if your trousers come up and you've got your belt on and they still fall down, you're kind of in trouble, and then you got to wear. So I think somebody bought me a pair of braces, suggesting I put so much weight on a belt wouldn't be any use anymore. That's nice, isn't it?
The only time I've ever worn a pair of braces when I was a kid, and I went to a fancy dress competition as Bobby Ball.
Bobby Ball.
God rest his soul.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
saw Cannonball in Blackpool when I was a kid.
Wow.
And they were just absolutely I was so sad when he passed away a couple weeks ago. Because he was genuinely, you know what I mean? They were absolutely brilliant. And I'll never forget, they did this brilliant show and everything, and, you know, the Rock on Tommy and all that. And then at the end of it, they just went out and you had a match on a light there, and everything went dark. And they said, right, put off. And the light they went out. And that was it. That was the end of the show. And I just thought that is absolutely class. That is absolutely class. So they were brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely,
so,
yeah, love Cam.
Yeah.
Oh, Stuart Sink, by the way.
Stuart Sink. There you go. That's the one. Yeah, I did think to myself, he must have been the most unpopular on that particular day at that moment in time, and probably almost like the most forgotten Open winner as well, just purely the fact that everybody wanted.
Well, we just proved that.
Yeah, nobody could remember.
Oh my goodness! So
who was it again?
Sorry,
Stuart Sink.
Stuart Sink.
You bastard.
I think it was terrible, wasn't it? I mean, I know from myself and my mates, you know, we were all willing him to lose, you know, because we wanted Tom Watson to win. But
yeah,
fair play to him, he won. But
yeah.
So the Masters is going to come round quick, isn't it? Because it's obviously going to be in April, if all being well, as long as the world hasn't fallen foul of anything
I'm going to be controversial, yeah. I'm going to be controversial. I think golf is one of the sports in the world. As a spectator, I'm glad there's no crowds.
Oh,
why is that?
Oh, yeah. The stupid pouring before people play their shot.
You don't get mashed potato!
Get in the hole!
Shouting that, in the hole! Oh my God, just shut up. You know, and you can actually, from a technical point of view, I think it's brilliant being able to just hear the players and the caddy. I think it's absolutely brilliant. You get to hear the chat. You get to hear what do you think. You know, later, what do you do? Come on, no, let's go for it. You know what I mean? For the players, I totally agree. You need that atmosphere. And it'd be brilliant when they do come back. But from a selfish point of view, I quite like listening to them. It's just absolutely brilliant. And I think from other sports as well, you know, football, you listen to the football. If I watch the football, I'll watch it with no crowd. If I watch the rugby, I'll watch it with no crowd. Because I think it's important for young kids especially to hear the talk that goes on the field. Yeah. Because everybody sort of thinks, you know, that it just happened, you know what I mean? And everybody, but it's the chat on the field that allows those teams to be effective in those areas. And I think the lockdown, if anything else, for young children coming through, young players coming through, listen to how they talk, listen to what they talk about, and listen to the ability for people to all talk and listen. Because a lot of the time, you know, people talk about communication and they think it's only talking, but it's listening. You know, the great players listen as well. Somebody tells them to go somewhere, they do, you know, Matt, he can put the ball on the dime, but somebody's got to be there to knock it in the back of the net. You know what I mean? And I think that in everything, and especially for me being a golf lover, listening to those conversations is brilliant.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, I suppose, well, you're never going to be able to do away with that because fans will end up going back to doing that. But I love that. What you do miss is that kind of roar of the crowd when the putt goes in, or it's the the winning moments, and but that creates all the atmosphere and the oohs and the ahs. But I mean, I don't know where it started. It must have been in America. Unfortunately, you had a few of the guys who've had a bit too much beer and they started shouting things, and then once one person does it, it just sort of catches on with a few others. But totally agree. Could do without that. What was really fascinating was
But why mashed potato?
I don't know. I've never heard that one before.
Mashed potato. I mean, why, you know what I mean? I think there are better ways to eat potatoes than mash. Chips. Sauteed potatoes. I wouldn't go baked, and I wouldn't go boiled. Mash is a sort of middle for diddle thing, isn't it?
I do like a baked potato. Nice, almost overcooked baked potato. I like.
Yeah, but can you imagine sort of that overcooked baked potato? This is quite sort of come off the time. With butter. What's your favourite topping?
Me? Probably. I don't know. I like baked beans, tuna and cheese, something like that.
Oh, right. Well, this is my favourite one. Is tuna and mayo with baked beans over the top.
Oh, there you go. Oh, we could have a date then, you and I.
Oh, date night. You bring the beans. I'll bring the tuna.
could be a bit drafty a bit later on. I wouldn't want to make it a late one.
Well, we can't go past 10 anyway.
That's very true. Very true. I mean, I'm forced now, Matt. I'm forced to ask you your favourite form of potato. It would be wrong to miss you out on this one.
Oh, chips, number one by an absolute mile. I mean, roast potatoes are quite. Yeah, I would say chips, roast potatoes. I think you're probably right. Mash is in the middle of the road, and then you look at it, and then you look at the saute and boiled. I mean, boiled is just pointless for me. There's no taste.
Just lazy cooks.
Lazy boiled potatoes.
Just lazy. Especially new boiled potatoes. You didn't even peel them.
Are these fish and chips, or are these chips just any chips?
From the chippy, proper greasy ones, not them dry stuff.
So I mean, we're just providing the viewers with so much information here. We're just covering everything, We'll move on to other, sort of starters and desserts, another time on another conversation.
I don't think I've ever had a jacket potato that hasn't had cheese and beans on it. I don't think there's any other jacket potato filling that's acceptable in my view.
Okay.
Oh, I do like a chili.
Oh yeah.
No. Chili. I do like chili.
Oh, chili on jacket potatoes, lovely.
Not for me.
You cover it all with chili, and then the jacket potato is like the surprise inside.
No.
I remember watching a Kitchen's Nightmare, the old Gordon Ramsay, and he went to this place in America, and it was so funny because it was a jacket restaurant. It was a potato restaurant. So he had ordered these like potato skins, but he was expecting them because generally what they would do is they'll scrape out the potato, mash it up with some other bits and pieces, maybe cheese and chives, and then put them back in the skins. Because when he's sat there eating, he's literally just sort of crunching through these horrible skins. And he says, "Where's all the filling?" And they said, they were taken out and they've been sold to, for another dish as like mashed potato. And he says, "So you've sold my potato to someone else?" He said, it was very funny, I have to say. Yeah.
Oh, I tell you what, I did. There used to be the Aberaeron Sevens. So the start of the season in Wales, there used to be the Aberaeron Sevens. So all the sides used to go down there for a weekend about middle of pre-season. And my father took us down there. We were only kids. I was only about 9. My brother probably about 6 or 7. So we went down there this Saturday, and they were all watching the Sevens and everything. And there was a baked potato stand. There was this big oven that just made baked potatoes and fill-ins. And I think my record for baked potatoes, one after each other, was 6.
What?
But,
what?
Yeah, I know. I was a growing boy. Yeah, so 6 baked potatoes, I think, I had on the one Saturday
hell.
before lunch.
Before lunch. That's incredible.
Oh yeah, it was nice though. They were lovely. They were really crispy. Best thing with the baked potato, lightly oil the outside and salt them before you put them in.
Oh, okay.
They go nice and crisp, and so you have the crispy skin on the outside. You have the white fluffy with a bit of butter on top, and any filling you like. Lovely.
Fantastic. Must have cost a fortune because you got brothers as well. Must have cost a fortune feeding you lot growing up.
Yeah, pocket money, wasn't it? Oh yeah, but well, the only reason I left home at 19 really was because my mother couldn't pass a HGV license, so she couldn't go shop. She could go to Tesco's.
Get the
van had got too small. So yeah. We used to go around with 2 shopping trolleys like that on a Thursday, and they'd be gone by Friday afternoon.
Wow. Okay, well, that's just I guess to round it up and finish on a golfing note. So obviously the Masters is back in April, so it's going to come around pretty quick. Do you think there'll be a back-to-back for Dustin Johnson, or what do you reckon's who might come to the fore, or who would you like to see, and who do you think will come to the fore?
I think I'm with Scott. If Rory has a round in the 60s in the first round, I really want him to go on and win it. And good, but it obviously depends on how his form goes between now and then. But for Dustin to shoot that score, you know, if he gets anywhere near that kind of form, that's going to be a hell of a target to try and beat.
Yeah, I hope Rory does it. You know, and again, he literally will get a monkey off his back. He will win that Grand Slam, and that would be absolutely incredible. You know, and I think if he does win the Grand Slam, I think he'll push on and win a few more. I think Dustin Johnson will win another 5 or 6 over the next 4 or 5 years. I think Bryson will come back, as I said, with a new calculator. And he'll sort of rein it. He doesn't need to hit driver anywhere around there. If he's hitting his 3-wood and he's hitting his iron 280, 320, he doesn't need to take driver. So why have a 48-inch driver? You don't really need round Augusta anyway. I think Matt Wolf again will be another one, and I just next year I'm gonna predict it. Next year Lee Westwood will win a major.
I'd love to see it. Yeah, I'd love to see it. I think he deserves it. He's come close. He did well, didn't he? The last few Masters, I think, was it last year?
Done well.
Was he top 5 last year or something?
Yeah, he's done really. You know, he's done so well. He's got close. He's got top 10s, top 5s. I just really hope he goes on and win well. He's had an amazing career. You know what I mean? And the next two, he's got fit. He's looking strong. He's in his happy place, as they say, and I'm a celebrity. So he's in his happy place. Hopefully, he'll go and get one in the next couple of years. Totally.
Okay, well, I think we're pretty much done there. You want anything to close on there, Matt? You all right?
No, I agree on Lee Westwood. I think with the career he's had, he deserves a major for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, guys. Well, we'll wrap it up there then, and what we'll do is we'll obviously look forward to next April's Masters. Hopefully, we'll all be back in a better position for golf in general. Anyway, and we'll see what happens when the spectators come back and everything starts to go back to a normal schedule. Be interesting.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah, let's hope so indeed. Cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks again. So thanks to Scott Quinnell and Matt Le Tissier, and just out there for anyone that's obviously watched this and they like the video, and click on the like, subscribe, and share. And we'll be doing more regular chats and keeping the content going, so it'd be good for people to add comments as well, so we'll get some feedback and we'll add them into the next chat when we go. So until then, we'll say goodbye. Okay,
just a quick one before we go. Matt,
yeah.
Why are you in the corner this week? Have been a naughty boy?
Yes, it's a bit more comfortable in this corner. The lighting's a bit better.
I got to be honest with you, I like the grey-white combo.
Thank you very much.
Just pushing it out there. It's very end of the moment. Looking good.
Yeah, this This is even better. Look, I've got my Christmas tree up.
Oh my
No
goodness!
way! Yes! Oh, that's brilliant.
And is
I love
that
it.
you or
Next week we're gonna have to do it in front of the Christmas tree.
Beautiful.
and is that from you or your wife?
You've just made my day.
That's the wife and our little girl who wanted to get stuff up. We've also got a big 8-foot snowman just out the front of the house as well. That's up already.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, I don't know if you
Brilliant.
can see that. Where's that going? I know.
Can't see with the light.
Can't see out the window. Yeah.
You have to take a photograph and send it on the chat, and we'll post that up. Good stuff.
There you go. Look.
Well, we haven't got anything like that sorted out yet, so we'll have to get cracking. Leaving us. Do you get pretty festive? Oh yes, look at that.
Oh, look at that.
There you go.
Awesome. Brilliant. Do you get pretty festive there,
Beautiful.
Scott?
Oh yeah, I love Christmas. I love it. I can't wait. I've been making candles ready for Christmas now. So
Okay.
yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to get the decorations up. Hopefully next week. I'm in Glasgow next week, so I'll get them up in the next 10 days, and then the next one we do, I'll hopefully have a Christmas tree up.
What's the name of the candle cup? Because it's your own candle company, is it? So we'll put a link on that as well. What's the website address?
Quinnell Candle Company.
Excellent. All right, we'll stick a link up on the chat.
That's why my hands are so soft. Look how soft they are. They're like sausages, but they're like soft sausages.
Great stuff.
Lovely.
Brilliant. Well, great chat, lads. Really enjoyed that.